I am joined by the determined filmmaking force. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Yeah.
I'm here with Jason Brown, director, actor, special effects artist, editor, filmmaker. I'm here with The Bat, the movie reviewer, interviewer, watch along, holder, unboxing, ranking, movie hauls, the one horror YouTuber Alucard.
Outrageous spectacle I have ever witnessed.
Crash, the David Cronenberg film based on the J.G. Ballard book.
Thank you, Mercy, for a quick paddle.
I watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter last night from the director of the excellent Troll Hunter. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to talk to you about animation. It's something that so many of us love and are really into, but we don't know a lot about what goes on under the bonnet, how it gets made. We just kind of enjoy it. So interested in your role. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it's not a problem. I'm really happy to be here and talk your ear off about animation.
And it's time for the Pugwall 316 review of Pillow Party Massacre, not Pillow Pants Massacre, Kevin Smith fans. So we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters: The Seed. It's an unused first script that was going to be Ghostbusters 2, much in the way Ghost Smashers was the unused first script you can find online that led to Ghostbusters.
The best part about doing this film was how many interesting showed up. An average day for me was one of my favorite days. I got to have lunch with Dick Van Dyke and Al Pacino at the same time.
We can talk like this, and you're all the way over in the UK.
I would say you're also responsible for me every time I saw a mirror as a child trying a different voice.
Opera from '87.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
cool. I love opera.
I adore opera. I love opera so much. The kills are fantastic.
This has done multiple short movies, over 61 titles in his career.
Pugwall 316 proudly presents Wings Week.
So, if you want horror, I've got horror for you. Chris McCauley, Dacre Stoker, thank you so much, gentlemen. Right, guys. Okay, guys. So we're here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do this.
I'm ready for this, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 4. Surviving. There's a sort of an amount of ambiguity that you want to leave with the film so that people make up their own minds and interpret it their own way.
That's very much true, yes.
For a collectible publication, a monthly column.
Incredibly sexy night owl. Don, I have to introduce him first, Larry, for obvious reasons. And I am so lucky to be joined by Gareth for a second time, a glutton for Wings punishment. The Wings Hauser fan club here as well, straight away. Larry's here, who was here for the first part of Wings Week.
What I want, baby, let's make that deal. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up.
We're here to watch Dead Man's Shoes. I'm joined by Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Blair Witch came out. The way they marketed that film, I thought was genius.
The resurrection of a beloved name in horror, and we can do that today. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to be working with you very soon. Goodbye.
Oh,
And here he
hey.
is. Mr. Brewster's turned up now.
Oh, magic.
Ah, gentlemen, hello.
Now, I don't want to give too much away, you see, so I had to be very careful there because I don't want to give any spoilers for people who haven't seen it.
Retro Toys Minute.
Pugwall 316.
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 Pugwall 316. Pugwall 316.
Pugwall 316.
Supporting the horror community. So check out Pugwall 316.
Hello. I'm here, finally. It's absolutely fantastic to be here to talk about a really, really cool film, Shivers. And I am joined by one of my favorite people, Larry, the Horror Cat Dad. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Really good. I'm so glad I can hear you because I've been messing around with my settings and I was thinking we were just going to be, mute for a while. So this film, I'm just going to give a little bit of background on it. Then I'm going to put you to the test if that's okay, Larry.
Oh, man.
Yeah, don't worry. It won't be too painful, I promise. So Shivers from 1975 even predates my birth, so it must be a relatively old film. Also known as the Parasite Murders. They came within, and in French, Frissons. As I said, 1975, directed by David Cronenberg, produced by, as Professor Frink would say, Ivan Reitman, starring Paul Hampton, Lynn Lowry, and Barbara Steele, who many people call Britain's first lady of horror. I would argue that's Caroline Munro, but other people might argue differently. Now, this film came out on the 26th of September, 1975, and this is where you come into this, Larry. Okay, so you know where this is going, don't you? After the last one.
Well, I mean, it's going to predate me because I was born in '82. So,
well, I know. Well, me too. So we're in the same boat. Except I have the answers. So yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh, so it's really cool. JT's here, Russell's here. Just catching up before I put you under a bit more pressure. Bud Files is here. Oh, thanks guys for turning out. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is one I have not seen. This is my first watch. It is available on YouTube. I put the link in the comments. It is also available on Prime. It's available on Tubi. If Gareth was here, he'd tell me it's available on VHS. So, quiz time. Thanks for sharing it out, JT. Thank you very much. I'll just put everybody on the screen who's here just so we can see. We've got Russell saying hi to JT. We've got JT saying he shared us out and saying hi and telling us he hadn't seen this until a few months ago. So, and like I say, this is my first time watch. I'm a bit of a Cronenberg, not a Cronenberg virgin, but a Cronenberg skeptic. Not skeptic. I know he's a good filmmaker. I'm just scared of the guy. Let's put it that way. So let's not hold on any longer. September 26th, 1975. What was number one in the charts? Let's do you're from the US, not Canada. Some people erroneously say you're from Canada. I don't know who those idiots are. We know you're a Texan. What was number one in USA on that day? Anybody in the chat help him out, man?
In 75, number one on the charts.
I can give you clues if you need them.
Okay.
So we're talking country, but not hardcore country.
Okay.
softcore country, I guess.
Wasn't like Hank Williams Jr. or Hank Williams, was it? Like something from him?
No, it
or...
wasn't. No.
The only
It's
things I could...
more mainstream.
Maybe Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, that's a good guess. I bet she did a few things with this gentleman. His initials are JD, not JT.
JD.
Oh, good guess with Skinnerd, but no, man.
JD.
They're hard rock compared to this guy. Compared to this guy, Lynyrd Skynyrd are like Cannibal Corpse. Just a reference to your one of your trailers, JT, that you did. Oh,
yeah, I think you got it.
You got it. It is. It's John Denver with "I'm Sorry." I don't know the song "I'm Sorry." I only know "Is it Take Me Home, Country Roads" or something that he did. And in the UK, now this is even better. We had a better number one. We had, not saying we're better at everything, but in this case, we had a better number one. I don't even know "I'm Sorry." It might be amazing. We had "We Are Sailing, We Are Sailing." We had Rod Stewart at number one.
Oh, okay.
Rod Stewart.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I think we won that one. What was the Chinese sign of the zodiac for that year? Take a wild guess. Not counting.
You're the. Let's see. You're the cat, I guess, or
not the year of the cat, man. It was the year of the rabbit. I wonder if there was more children born or conceived during the year of the rabbit. Also, another fact about this around this time, a little bit later in the year, a little bit earlier in the year, Charlie Chaplin was knighted. He became Sir Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, and in April of this year, Microsoft was founded. Yeah. So a lot happened, including this film. The time machine. Yeah, we could have done with a time machine for Larry and to get some of those.
Because man, those are rough ones.
Yeah, that was rough, and also, we both weren't born then, so fair enough.
Yeah, but you had the answers.
Yeah, I do have the answer. That's true, and I still didn't know. That's how ridiculously difficult they were. Also, here's one is a US-centric one. The Phillies and the New York Mets play a doubleheader that ends at 3:15 a.m. Wow. That happened on this day in 1975. So I imagine that's baseball.
Bases ball where they kick the touchdowns through the.
So this is why you're here, to educate me on these things. So, before we get started, we have already done Videodrome with yourself and the amazing Don, Night Owl Movie Talk. That we had a good time with that one. We talked a lot about Cronenberg. Is there something you want to bring to this discussion about Cronenberg that maybe we hadn't mentioned last time, or something that that you've kind of what's your relationship with Cronenberg? That's a better question.
My relationship with Cronenberg was obviously the Fly remake. That was probably the first Cronenberg film I've seen. There was a lot of stuff, growing up that I didn't realize was Cronenberg stuff. Like for the longest time, I don't think I mentioned this before, but it had been forever since I had seen Videodrome. It's not until I got older that I realized that it was Cronenberg that did that one. And the same with Dead Zone. It's another one of those that I didn't realize that he had did until, again, as I got older and realized. I mean, but it's like that was a lot of even with bands too. Like there was like songs that forever I didn't know, like the Eagles did that song, or that the Rolling Stones did, certain songs. And I was like, but as I got older and my ears got, more attuned to like voices and stuff, I was like, wow, that sounds like Jagger. And turns out it was the Rolling Stones, and so that's why it's one of those things where like it's movies that I've seen, and then later on I'm like, oh, this. But then you see it later, you can see that same sort of like Argento where he has the same color,
we talked about the color
so
palette.
stuff like that. Like you you start seeing like patterns with films, and it's like, oh, that's definitely this. That's definitely from this person. You know, this is definitely a Carpenter film. This is definitely, you know, Cronenberg.
Yeah.
You know, so
Cronenberg's an interesting one, though, isn't he? In the
Oh, yeah.
sense of he balances some that are leaning more towards mainstream, even though they still have those insane moments like The Fly, and the early ones like this that are a little more off the wall, but always has a similar sort of off kilter sensibility. But you know, like you say, you could watch something like, say, The Dead Zone and go, "Oh, I didn't realize that that was Cronenberg." Probably more so than with, say, having said that, like, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of people who didn't think that Carpenter didn't know that Carpenter did Christine. I guess when you're doing like a Stephen King film or something, something like that, it's not.
It's kind of
always
overshadowed
obvious.
by. It's kind of, in some of those cases, it's overshadowed by, you know, that by Stephen King. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like a King movie.
Yeah, it's like a King movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
also going back to, and I didn't get to tell you this previously with Crash. What's interesting about Crash is that I remember seeing that movie. I just never, for one, I didn't realize back then it was Crash. Like I never knew the name of it back then.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those that I remember I remember Spader and I remember like all that stuff. I just don't remember. I never, it was one of those movies that I saw like on some cable channel and I caught it like, I don't remember if it was like 25% into the film or something like that. But I remember watching it and being like, wow, this is interesting. Especially because I was younger, you know?
Oh yeah, it's interesting's the word. I mean, the thing with Crash as well, like from the video that I did about it and the research that I went into it, that, you know, Ted Turner worked really hard to keep that out of the cinemas, you know, even though he owned the company that owned the rights to it. So like you're already fighting an uphill battle. So man, that's strange. And obviously it was more controversial over here because it was being used as like a political football. So that for me makes it a really interesting film because it's I mean, obviously it's a really controversial book. You know, Ballard's writing a book from a lot of pain. He's lost his wife when he wrote it. Cronenberg's pretty much put the book on the screen. There's no like, there's not a lot of license. It is the book, and it's wild. And like that trailer that I showed about it, where Siskel and Ebert are arguing about it. You know, say what you want. I think that Ebert's right on the money about it. You know, there isn't like a story arc where we find out that these people learn their lesson, or we have to kind of find out that these people are morally, you know, that they get their comeuppance or whatever it is. I don't think Cronenberg does that in his films. I think he's actually more honest than a lot of Hollywood films, where, you know, there has to be this story of the good guy, the bad guy, and it's very clear, and redemption arcs and all these things, which are fine, but he doesn't have that because he thinks, well, the people who are making them are usually morally reprehensible, and it's the hypocrites. Whereas in my films, the characters are what they are. They're flawed human beings who do flawed things.
Well, yeah, it's more, I guess, grounded in a sense, you know.
That's why it's scary, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it like if you see, was one recently. I had watched The Dead Zone not too long ago, and I was like, man, going back and rewatching it after so long, I was just like, this is scary because you see how it's playing on like what people like, what you normally hear in the news day to day. You know, you hear, you know, children getting kidnapped or, you know, getting abducted. You hear like political, you know, all this stuff. So it's kind of like, it's definitely one of those things where there's a supernatural element where the guy's like, you know, can see the future or whatever. But I mean, it's sort of that. I don't know. It's just that's like that's minuscule compared to the message that Cronenberg's putting on screen. In my opinion, that's how I'm just going based off of like Dead Zone, but I mean, I feel like
I agree.
I feel like he couldn't do like a movie like Crash. You wouldn't see that today.
No, or if you, I don't know. I mean, maybe you would, but maybe I don't know. Like it got an award at Cannes for like daring and things like that. And I think daring films are made, but I don't think necessarily they have a point other than being daring. Like, if that makes sense. I feel like the shocking films that are just to shock. I don't think necessarily now you get as many films that are that have a point that you have to think about beyond the fact that they're shocking. I'll just say hi to some guys. Hey Al, yeah, here for the ladies. Al, here for Barbara. If you've got me and Al, me and Larry on the screen, then we're only going to disappoint, I'm afraid. Oh, hey, wild guys. Hey, nice to see you. Jamie's here as well. Nice to see you, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
So yeah, I feel we've set up the movie. I'm going to play my little MS3K ripoff. As we know, we are both massive massive misties. And then we'll get started. Now, I am watching the version of this on YouTube. And it is 1 hour 27 and 54 seconds long. There's a brief intro and then it gets straight into it. So, guys, what are you watching it on, Larry, by the way?
Tubi.
Tubi, okay.
Yeah, so I might get some commercials riddled throughout.
We'll give me a shout and we'll do a pause and we'll give everybody a time check.
Yeah, because I mean, I tried looking through the links. I wanted to be pretty consistent with you, but for some odd reason it wouldn't. It was saying not available in my.
Oh,
it's blocked in my country or something like that. I got an error when
usually the other way around,
right?
Yeah,
but no, I mean
I can't see interesting stuff.
But at least it's on Tubi, so I was able to. I just brought it up and have it there.
Yeah, and guys, check out Al's Facebook. He does like a Tubi update. He's on the Tubi page all the time, reminding people, asking people what they're watching on Tubi. I watched a great film on Tubi yesterday. I watched The Love Witch. If you've seen that or heard of that, it's a kind of stylized. Looks like it's from the 60s and 70s, but it was made in a couple of years ago. It's an interesting one, The Love Witch.
The Love
It's worth checking out. Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to start the countdown, and then it's Shivers. Remember, it's this is the Parasite film that didn't win the Oscar. Right, let's go. Boom. Oh, I've got a intro from, who is it? Is it Lionsgate? Yeah. Well, what a guess. Yeah, I've got a little Lionsgate intro here. And then I don't know if you've got that.
No, mine just says a digital restoration by TIFF.
I got that too. Now I've got John Dunning, and we've got a lovely brutalism set of flats or apartments.
Shivers.
I was going to wear my hat like you because I thought Shivers might just make me feel cold. Yeah, I've got some generated subs on my YouTube, which is always good for a laugh. Yeah, it is, isn't it beautiful? The Love Witch. Yeah, it's beautiful, Jamie. I did like. I ordered her book today. The director whose name escapes me. I ordered her book. She's a bit of a strange character, the director, but yeah, it's a fun film.
Like the Love Witch is a strange character.
Yeah, well, the Love Witch and the director is a strange character. She's a good one to follow on Twitter. She comes out with some wild stuff. Yeah.
I don't do the
X. No. Oh yeah. I like a man of principle.
I don't know, man. There's just
It's
too
quite
much.
negative. It can be negative at times.
I don't know. I can barely keep up with Instagram and
Yeah, you're a busy man. You know, you're like the glue. You know, the glue that binds a lot of these channels together. You're like, hey, check this out, check this one out, and I'm like, oh shit, I better check that one out.
Well, that's why, man. I shifted all my attention or my resources to YouTube and stuff like that. These are some nice shots.
Yeah, isn't it strange? Ivan Reitman produced this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, produced by Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, I get that. I get that, Jamie, about leaving X. I'm on it, but I'm still calling it Twitter. So take that, Elon. I know nothing about him. Like I know nothing about the guy. I'm not interested in him at all.
I got him on speed dial.
Well, can you tell him to get super fast internet into sort of rural areas of Britain because it's driving me crazy. This is quite interesting. It's almost like a slideshow of like 70s locations, followed by a Manos Hands of Fate driving around. I have a feeling that business will pick up as we go along.
Yeah, you mentioned this is a first time watch for you. This is the same first time watch for me. So.
Oh, cool.
At least I don't remember seeing this one.
Well, this is it. Sometimes films, I sometimes get what's the Cronenberg film? Dead Ringers mixed up with Videodrome, mixed up with another one because I saw bits of them as a child and they traumatized me. But you've heard this story. I've told you this story before. This is where I would need my wife to remind me that I'm saying the same things over and over again.
Hey man, I mean, some people, some people might be new. They didn't catch it before. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, we're in for a treat. Al says we're in for a treat. 50 plus for us. You're all in for a treat.
Oh man.
I feel like my memory has taken a hell of a hit. I don't know why. Too many bumps on the head. This guy's glasses are pretty amazing. This is like around sort of Dharma style glasses time.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
What's going on with these guys wrestling around? Oh, she biting him?
Guess she doesn't want to eat her vegetables or something.
Oh, these two coming in now. These might be the big troublemakers. These two old characters.
They're faking.
The protagonists. Oh yes, there's some cracking haircuts in this already, man. I mean, I'm a fine one to talk. I just stick my my hat. I wear a hat 90% of the time. I'll tell you what, as well, you don't see a lot of male pattern baldness in films anymore. Like lead actors could be bald in films back then. Now, you're in a little bit of character work if you're bald.
Yeah. Unless that's your thing, you have a shaved head, you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you shaved it and you stay them, yeah.
But even then, I've seen movies where Statham he wears a piece, like Revolver and there's a couple other films I think I've seen him with hair, and it's really weird. It's weird to me just because I'm so used to seeing him without hair. Dang.
There's a lot going on, and it just cuts back to these guys just calmly having a discussion. Well, often when I watch these with you guys and then I like them, I tend to buy them afterwards.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, if it's a film I really, yeah, I think so. Yep. So is she a student? Because she looks pretty old to be a student.
Yeah. It's a terrible painting. Or is it one of those things like a wall hanging that they used to have a lot in the 70s?
Yeah, it looks like a tapestry.
Yeah. Used to have those a lot in Spain. This is Al's second favorite Cronenberg. This is my first favorite Dr. Zoidberg. That's a terrible joke, sorry. Dad jokes. The Fly, Jamie's is The Fly. Videodrome's Al's number one. Mine might be, controversially, Crash.
See, I need to go back and rewatch Crash. Like, watch it all the way through. Like I was saying, like I remember seeing it as a kid, but I didn't see the whole thing, and I didn't back then. I never realized it was Crash until later.
I need to see Dead Ringers again. I need to see that one.
Is that a water pick?
Oh, this is the bit that I edited into my Cronenberg trailer, so I have a feeling something's going to happen. I don't want to ruin it. Spoilers. Spoilers. I think something might happen or not.
That's a water pick, though, right? What he's using?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a 70s water pick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
He's got a bit of a David Schwimmer look about him.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, "Oh, Rachel, don't break up with me."
Who's Rachel? Yeah, he does look like Schwimmer. That's funny.
Yeah, he's swimming.
This is the 70s, so yeah, of course nobody's wearing bras in this.
No, even the guy he needs to be wearing a bra. It's so clinical. Like Cronenberg's always so clinical, isn't he? Like we were saying before, he is the gynecologist of horror.
Yeah, see, and he's doing that same thing like before. What do you call it? Like in Videodrome, like right there in that same area of the stomach, he's doing that to the girl. And even then, the David Schwimmer here was like touching that same area too. You know, it's like
he's like doing that little cough thing that David Schwimmer does. David Schwimmer was good in NYPD Blue. He was the neighbor in the original NYPD Blue first series.
You ever see that that film when he tried to be like go on his own? That the pallbearer. Did you ever see that film?
I was gonna say the pallbearer is where he was trying to be like Dustin Hoffman, wasn't he? He was trying to do. It was a bit like The Graduate kind of thing. Yeah.
What's interesting about that one is like the trailer made it seem like it was gonna be like funny.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and it's like not really that funny.
No, and I think he's in Apt Pupil as well.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he pops up in Apt Pupil. I could be wrong. Or maybe I just watched them both around the same time.
That's another one I need to go back and watch because that's in McClellan, right?
Yeah, it's Brad Renfro, sadly no longer with us. Who I just thought Brad Renfro was an amazing actor. Potentially, he was great in everything. Bully and so many things. The Client was it when he was a kid. He was a bit like River Phoenix for me, where he was going to be one of the greatest actors of all time.
It's interesting to think about, right? Like River Phoenix and a lot of those actors that I mean, you can't really say what's his name either, Jonathan Brandis, because I mean he kind of peaked and then he, and I wouldn't call him like River Phoenix status because River Phoenix.
But there's so many that we lost that are so young. It's crazy. It's mad to think that Corey Haim outlived all those guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Considering like all the stuff he was doing.
Some people are just their systems aren't built for the same level of abuse as others. Yeah, he was in Apt Pupil. Yeah, I like the film Apt Pupil, and I liked it at the time. Obviously, the director is a sketchy human being. What we got there? I can't see. Is that a cat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Focused it. Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you get that from, buddy?
Got that from Target.
Nice. I've heard of that. Asda. no, Walmart own Asda. I don't know. We don't have a Target, I don't think. Yeah, but it's a great film. It's a Stephen King short story, isn't it? Apt Pupil. But yeah, Brad Renfro is amazing. He's such a great actor. And yes, Bully. I saw Bully at the cinema. Yeah, he's great in that as well. Leo Fitzpatrick is in that as well as what's the skating movie with Larry Clark, kids. And Leo Fitzpatrick, I haven't seen him in anything until the last few years. There was a film where him and two guys go breaking into houses in a holiday resort. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but you have to find the right role for Leo Fitzpatrick because he's kind of like Christopher Mintz-Plasse in the sense that you need a very specific role for him to be in. He's got that kind of like sound and like whereas like Renfro could have been a huge star, I think.
I just got a commercial.
Okay, so we are on 12 minutes 8 seconds on my end. Bully is underrated. Yeah, I watched that in cinema and it was just silent when it finished. Yeah, I agree too. I haven't seen it for a long time. Like I say, literally the last time I saw it was at the cinema. And
that's another one I haven't seen in forever. Okay, we just started. You said you were at
12:08.
12:08. Okay, I'm at 12:03. So
awesome.
We're about there.
Let's go. 12:09, 12:10.
I like how Schwimmer's not really like freaking out that he just like saw like dead bodies.
No, do you know what though? I think that is quite realistic because 9 times out of 10 in life, you see something sketchy going on or you see something dangerous. Your first thought is to put your head down and keep walking. And then obviously sometimes things kick in where you go, hang on, this isn't right, and you do something. Or in some cases, you do just keep going and put foot down and never look back.
Yeah.
Movie over. Look at this walk. Look at this, how he walks into this. It's so stiff.
Yeah, it's like again, he just walks in like, you know, he didn't just see 2 people killed or dead. Yeah.
The color schemes here, man, and the carpets are always like beige or yellow or green, like just disgusting colors of the 70s.
It was a fashion.
Yeah.
It was a fad back then.
Yeah. Carpet that's like 6 inches thick and just smells. Scum, as in the Barstool film, the British one where all the young kids like Ray Winston in, where they're like in a young offenders institute, or is there another Scum? Russell, because that's hard going. I think in Scum, it's like about these kids who are all in like a young offenders kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Larry. There's a scene where they get a load of oranges in a bag and beat the crap out of somebody so that it doesn't leave any. I suppose it doesn't leave any marks. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, use a phone book on him.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's like the mob kind of wave, isn't it? I love the part where Michael Pitt is talking to Cyber Tokens time. Oh, cool. I remember that. Michael Pitt's another one. He was like, people were like, oh, I remember when he was on Dawson's Creek and they were like, oh, he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. And then he was in The Dreamers and he was in that. And he always kind of played awkward, floppy fringe guys and just kind of disappeared.
I mean, some people just, they just don't, they either lose their taste for acting or something. I mean, there was somebody else, there was a child actor who just, I think, there's a couple actually. The girl, her name's escaping me. The girl that played Newt in Aliens. She only did that one film, and that was it.
Yeah, mostly.
And then who else? There was also a guy. Was it Chunk? Also, he ended up being like.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah, he ended up being a lawyer.
Yeah, he's like an entertainment lawyer, so he works for a lot of the people that he started off in movies with. Yeah. I've got a weird one for that, who went on to be a lawyer. So did you ever, you watched Saved by the Bell, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember when they went into Saved by the Bell, the new class?
Barely.
So they had a new setup of people and it didn't quite work. And then they went into like a rotating amount of people. The first season, they had this kid who was like the new Zach called Scott. And they had a new Screech called Weasel. The kid who was Weasel, he has a degenerative eye disease. This is why I know about him, because I have a degenerative eye disease as well, but his is much worse than mine. And his was gone so bad that he's completely blind, but he's like a high-powered lawyer. He's like managed to kind of work around it. So yeah, that was an interesting one of like somebody who's called Weasel Wiesel. I remember that, but they were all right, man. They should have stuck with that first cast, and then every season after that, and I stopped watching. But every season after that, they just kept changing them and changing them.
I think I ended with the college years.
Yeah, our college years is good, man. Yeah, college.
College years is good.
Yeah, it's funny as well. Like it actually stands up. I've got that somewhere.
I need to go. I think did Al get it? The person.
Oh, from what?
Is that the guy?
From
John D.
Champagne
Hart?
and Bullets.
Oh, is that from Champagne Bullets?
Yeah.
I need to watch that movie, man.
Yeah, it's so expensive to get hold of. Oh my word! Unless you watch it, I downloaded it. Somebody put it on Reddit and was like, "It costs so much to get it because it's got so many names." And they just uploaded it to their Google Drive, and I just downloaded it from there, which was really nice of them. If you type it in and go to Reddit, you should be able to find it.
See, that's another one. Reddit. I don't do that. I don't do that.
I see. That's it. I have the Reddit app, and I use it for things like that. If I'm searching for information,
I have other means to acquire films. So
say no more.
So this so a lot of them, if it's not on Tubi, then I'll try to find it. But yeah, Champagne and Bullets, I first heard of that one because of Jay Harang's video. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's a crazy film. I think Al's probably the foremost expert on that film, and is friends with John DeHart as well. Hey, Captain Adams here. His expo's coming up soon. I wish I lived in America just to come to that expo. Guys, check out Captain Adams Expo if you're in his area.
How's it going, Captain Adam? Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. Missing you and Rob's videos, hearing your soothing voices. But it's been really cool on meeting up with you guys on Fridays, with you and Don. And like you say, it's a nice thought as well, like kind of like almost like a mid-season replacement until those guys
yeah.
This is really cool. The guy in Amityville 2 played Sonny was serving. See, I've not seen Amityville. I've only literally just seen the first Amityville recently.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one, or the original, and then I saw, I did see the remake with Ryan Reynolds. It was all right, but I like the original one's the best. And
Margot Kidder, man.
Yeah, she was great in that. Brolin was great in that too.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's good in that.
The grittiness and the darkness in that is just like, it's really creepy. Like that's a film I remember when I was younger, like really creeping me out. But again, I think it's just the look of it, just the look of it, and I think
it's a funny one. I was not going to watch it because I thought there was going to be some dog trauma, but actually the dog ends up being pretty much a hero in the film. And obviously I'm a massive Margot Kidder fan. Like Black Christmas, Barb, she's just out of this world. Obviously Lois Lane.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Sorry, you were saying about Amityville. About how scary.
No, it used to creep me out when I was younger. I mean, even it was just, I feel like movies back then were more atmospheric.
Yes.
The look around the essentially the world that it was going on in. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of movies, they don't have that these days.
I think there's like the Canadian ones are quite dark as well, like My Bloody Valentine and Black Christmas, and the ones that, I think just because of the weather, it kind of makes things look a bit more grimy and miserable. Even though it's a lovely country, I'd love to go to. Shivers meets him. Arr.
Hey, Gareth, how's it going?
Avast behind, Gareth. Avast behind.
Gas chamber.
Amityville in space. I recently did a podcast about the Amityville film. I listed off every film with Amityville in the title. It was a long list.
Isn't there one Amityville in the Hood or something like that?
Oh, there's so many. This was ridiculous. Okay. So there's a lot of talk in the chat about how good Amityville 2 is. So maybe I need to check this out. Meanwhile, our friend Prototype David Schwimmer is just still wandering around a bit. He's so upright and stiff. He's either completely traumatized or that's just his way.
Well, if you think about it, though, like it's interesting because if you look at the character, like seeing this one and seeing this guy, the knockoff Schwimmer, it's like if you think about how he's playing this, how Walken plays his character in Dead Zone, and even Goldblum in The Fly, like just very,
true.
I don't know, lanky, kind of stiff, kind of like awkward.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if it's just something that Cronenberg. I'd have to see more of his film because I feel like
Do you
Peter
know?
Weller.
You got
Not
me
Peter
thinking
Weller.
about that. You got
Not
me
Peter
thinking.
Weller. What's his name? Oh my God. Why am I? James Woods, because James Woods
James
wasn't
Woods.
like that in Videodrome.
No. Do you know what though? I was just thinking that it reminds me a little bit of I'm going to butcher his name, but Yorgos Lanthimos, Killing of a Sacred Deer, and all those films that he does. The recent one with Emma Stone, and like he has them play it a certain way that's
Mhm.
almost humorous because it's so lacking in emotion when they go in these horrendous and over the top things. It's quite staid and quite serious and stiff. The only one of his I like actually is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I think it's because I'm such a massive fan of Barry Keoghan. I think he's such an incredible actor. I thought he used to be in a Irish gangster show called Love Hate that I used to watch years and years ago. And he's always been amazing. And there's another one called I think it's called Calm with Horses that he's in. He's just good in everything. The Green Knight, obviously he's in the new Batman, isn't he? But he's just good in everything.
See the
yeah,
Green Knight. I've been wanting to see that one, The Green Knight.
that's a good film. I like that.
Is
It's a good like folky horror kind of thing. It fits nicely with all those old folky horror film. Folk horror. Folksy. Amityville Gas Chamber. Don't click on it now, guys. Al, stop putting competition for me and Al. I keep calling Al Larry and Larry. You can call me Al. I'm sure this is like the third time we've talked about that song. I know. But yeah,
that's the thing. We're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it every stream now. We're gonna have to somehow work it into the conversation.
Yeah, we've not got Don here tonight, but otherwise the three blind bitches can't ride again. We need to ride again, like the three amigos, but just like not as interesting or exciting. Yeah, oh man, that would be cool. Yeah, he's going off. Oh man, I hope he's okay. Rob's amazing. He's so creative, such a nice guy, funny as hell. And listening to Adam and Rob's voices, man, it's my ASMR. And I usually don't like that kind of stuff.
What's interesting is, like, I gotta say, I dig the architecture of this building. Sorry to just cut in, but I'm seeing like the pillars and how everything is. It's just
like I think, is it called brutalism? Like all the concrete stuff, I think it is. Those plastic umbrellas as well are very of the time, so you could see where you were going through them. Actually, not a bad idea. We don't have them now, but it makes perfect sense. You can then see if a brick's going to land on your head. You can just look up. Right?
Or blood. In this case, you can see blood's about to rain down on you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole reason this one is see-through, I guess. Larry, you're getting a compliment from Al, so
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
I used to be longer, but I trimmed it down and need to regrow it. So
that's the good thing. That will happen. Don't want to be a cat.
I got another. What do you call it? Another commercial.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to pause. The two ladies. I'm on 25 minutes and 8 seconds. And
we'll be back after these messages.
After these important messages. It is soothing. I need a lot of soothing. Can I just say while we're pausing as well? Thank you to all the people who've been so nice while I've been like boring everybody a bit about maybe not boring them, but talking about my dog a lot because like I've been really worried about her this week, and she is so much better. And Larry's been amazing, and so many nice people have said nice things. Mayan and Don and Al and Gareth and so many people who know about Marcy not being so well have been like, "How's your dog?" Which is really touching and so lovely. And she is a real fighter. So like she's in a week, it's been like a 180. Like, she is a badass.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Again, that's good to hear that she's starting to get better and stuff like that. That's
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
mean, it's one of those things where I think we've talked about this like off stream and stuff, like how I am with my cats and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
looks like commercials are over. I'm at 25:03.
Perfect. The old ladies are walking. Let's go. That sounded like code. The old ladies are walking. 10-4.
Old ladies walking. Old ladies walking.
Over.
Over.
Yeah, the beast within. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's Roger over.
Roger. Yeah. Well, you've got clearance, Clarence. What do you make of it, Johnny? Well, I can make a brooch. I can make. Man, every time. I don't blame you, man. It's it can get in your head a little bit. I'm trying to just like put the sort of the things that YouTube think are important to one side, and then try and think about the things that I think are important. Because the more I get into doing it, the more they're pushing things at me, like, "Yo, you're doing this, or you're doing that, or oh, you've managed to achieve this, and now you've not achieved that." And it's like, fuck it. Like, I've made some good friends. Like, stop pushing me with facts and figures. Al's a good role model when it comes to that sort of stuff. He plows his own furrow.
Timestamp.
Timestamp 26:15.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Is that where you are as well? Awesome. 26, 21, 22, 23. Old lady putting washing in a big top-loading washing machine or a photocopier. It looks a bit like the photocopier.
She's buying copies of her clothes.
She's copying her underwear.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
yeah, the one and only Rob's vintage. Yeah.
She's watching the. Oh, here we go. Slugs.
Here's a question for you. So sometimes in the UK, over time, our money changes. Like the 5p got smaller, the 10p got smaller, the notes got smaller. Does money change size at all in the US? Like, would you be able to still use this dryer now?
I don't see why not. It would just be quarters. Like, it'd be like multiple quarters. I think now, like, it would just be like it would be more expensive. It's been a long time since I've actually gone to a laundromat.
Yeah, I don't even know where. I can't even remember. I couldn't. If you put a gun to my head and was like, in 3 hours you need to find a laundromat or a laundrette, as we call them, I don't think I could.
Well, there's even in my what was interesting, even in my old my old apartments from, like, I don't know, back in 2016. Like, back then, I could use like a fob, and it'll charge my account.
Oh man, that's charge you for everything.
So like I would plug it in, load it up. It's sort of like, think of like a gift card. You load it up with money, and then you just go and you can just badge to get.
Okay. I got you. It's
that girl back.
Right. Yeah, well, I was just thinking as well. What is strange that we've just watched this horrible thing happen to this woman, and we're so desensitized to films that we talked about the laundry machine.
Yeah, I was like, somebody's gonna have to clean that up.
Yeah. Oh man. What sort of machine do you think that is? Well, that's the old Candy 375. It's a great model.
Right.
I've never seen that film. Al. I'm calling Al Larry now. Yeah, I've not. I've not seen it. It's a British film as well, but not that I have to see every British film. And to be honest, there's a lot of shit British films. Certainly after the 1980s. Oh, okay. So this was filmed in Toronto, I believe.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean,
who's that guy behind the door? Carlsberg there. You can tell it's in Canada because you've got the British influenced, beer. Carlsberg's pretty crap. In fact, the guy over the road from me, while I was looking out the window before, he had like 7 crates of beer delivered to his house, and it was all Carlsberg. And I was like, oh man, Carlsberg shit. Like, it must have been cheap. Must have been on offer.
Right.
Or they're having a big party. If it's just for him, it's like six crates of beer.
Well, it's like long haul, man. He's gonna have a marathon or something.
Yeah, well, a lot of I don't know if this happened during lockdown with you guys, but a lot of people built like little bars in their back gardens.
I mean, I built up a little bit of a little bar, but I mean, it wasn't anything, it wasn't anything like massive or anything. I had a coworker who would, during lockdown, he was sending me pictures of his bar set up and how he got like, oh, I got this bottle, I got this bottle, and then like he just went nuts with it. And I'm just like, this is what I have, man. I used to be a bartender, so like I know what I'm doing. So it's like I don't need to show off like everything that I have. Like I have some bar blades and I have some like tins, shakers, and stuff like that. But it's just stuff that I did it for so long. For me, it's just like,
yeah,
I don't need to.
It's interesting that you mentioned that about, because like a friend of mine, he isn't from like a bar tending background or anything, but he learned all like tons of carpentry and woodwork, and he's built this essentially a pub in his back garden, and he's still doing it now. He started during lockdown and he's still doing it now. And it's like leather finish and mirrors and pumps and everything. It's like Cheers, man. It's like he's built Cheers in his back garden.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Guy Pearson's here. Nice. Hi, Guy. How's it going, my friend? Guy's in the movie industry. He's currently directing lots of things and also done some really cool special effects. Really awesome guy. Been having a good chat with him recently. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so what are your thoughts? Your favorite director? Oh, that's awesome. I was just going to say, what are your thoughts on Cronenberg? But obviously, what's your favorite Cronenberg film, Guy? Because we've had a few people coming in with Videodrome, this one. What else did people say going back now?
Fly.
Fly. Yeah.
I
said Crash. But, yeah.
Crash. Oh no, they saw the slug. Now I wonder if they got this. I wonder if they got this slug. They hired this slug to be in Wrath of Khan.
It's a slug. It's a working slug. It's it's a slug from Slugs Are Us. Yeah, it's a special. It's like I wonder if it was in the film Slugs as well, whether it gets a credit.
Yeah.
Like Shakma with the monkey that's in a couple of films. Videodrome. Yeah, we watched Videodrome. I don't know if you caught it, Guy. We watched Videodrome with Don Night Owl Movie Talk last week. I can't remember what day it was now, but we definitely did.
So let me ask you this, Matt. What made you like choose the films for Cronenberg season? Like, I'm surprised like you didn't have like The Fly or even I think Don and I were talking about like Dead Zone.
Yeah.
So what was the method to the madness, I guess?
So what the ones that creep me out the most that I probably wouldn't have watched unless I had to. I've seen The Fly, and and I just thought, and I had horrible experiences watching bits of Cronenberg films when I was a kid. So I was like, if I don't make a trailer and promise to do it and write down the names of these films, I'm probably never going to watch them. So, and plus it's fun watching them with other people and kind of getting their takes on them. So yeah, so I didn't choose ones that I'd seen before or ones that I hadn't, that I thought I'd be ambivalent about. I thought I'd have strong feelings about all of them. I was going to do Crash as a watch along, but then I ended up doing like a sort of deep dive into it instead. But no, so yeah, guys saying Videodromes this way. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense really what I've said, but yeah, that's the reason.
I mean, it's kind of like you want to do something. You wanted to do something that was like you don't want to do the favorites. The playlist.
Yes.
You want to do something off the beaten track,
Yeah, and plus doing the podcast that we do, which is only like a small like podcast between just two friends chatting about the different movies. I don't choose the movies, but we did The Fly, and we did The Fly 2, and obviously that's not directed by Cronenberg, but I did think, I would like. I always steer clear of this guy, so I'm not going to steer clear of him anymore. And no, it doesn't affect it. In fact, we like dissenting voices. I think it may, and to a certain point as well. Like it would be quite boring if we all just. I know it's cliche to say it's boring if we all like the same things, but no, like I'm not necessarily saying I'm a huge Cronenberg fan, but I think I appreciate him on a sort of almost like a student of film level. But I know he's a great filmmaker, and some of his films I really do like. But then some of them I can take or leave. Class of 1983, Roddy McDowell, Young Michael Fox, No J is a classic. Not love that. Young Michael Fox, No J.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
we missed the bladder effects on his stomach. That was pretty. That was pretty
Yeah, that was
crazy.
cool. Isn't this what influenced? Is this before? This is before Alien. So a lot of people say that it did influence Alien.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I read that when I was doing my research for that. Yeah, this Canadian. That's okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's it's one of
That's
those
cool.
things. It's one of those things, Gareth. It's not everybody has to like everybody's thing. Like despite what Twitter and all that other stuff. All the social
Yeah.
media tell you it's okay to have your own opinion and have your own likes and dislikes.
Oh
And
man,
everyone,
man, I totally
I think
agree.
that's what makes for better conversation. Not just
for sure. Yeah.
why don't you like this because of X, Y,
Yeah,
Z.
like trying to force someone into liking something you like, I think is the worst possible. It's not the worst possible thing you could do, but it's there's a lot worse. But it's a pointless exercise. It's a waste of energy, and it's frustrating for both parties. Like it drives me insane, and that's a really good point as well. What I've got a friend actually who pretty much we are completely opposite in everything we like and everything that we talk about and the way we approach life. But I love the guy; he's like my best friend. So that's important. I think that's really important these days because like tribalism just means you stay in your tribe and you don't have any understanding of anyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the acting. At the end of the trailer, I've put a few clips of Cronenberg's acting. I actually watched him in a film the other day. I think it's called Blood and Donuts, or Blood and Donuts with Cronenberg was in that. He was like a mob boss, and he does this whole scene about shoes, and like leaving a mark in the bowling alley and the type of shoes. It was quite good actually. It reminded me a bit of a Tarantino monologue where you get like an older actor in. But yeah.
I like when he gets killed in Jason X. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is good. That is so cool. Yeah. So the watch party, yeah, the one. So do you know when you said that, Al? I thought you meant Robo Vampire you thought that was a Cronenberg film. It's a Godfrey Ho film. It's a Ho for show. It's a Ho film, man. And there's a good segue to guys. Continue watching. Well, don't continue watching this channel afterwards because it's not on this channel. On Gareth's channel, on Al's channel, they are watching Robo Vampire, and it will be awesome. The Godfrey Ho classic, which is on Tubi as well. I saw it on Tubi a while ago. And Nightbreed is a really he's good. He's great in Nightbreed. He's probably the best thing about it because it's quite a muddled film, really. Nightbreed. There's good bits, and it's kind of like a creepy X-Men, I think. And I'm not sure Clive Barker knows what the perfect version of that film is. But there's some great bits in it. And one of the best parts of it is Cronenberg and his character is just insanely good. He's almost like a supervillain with the mask as well. And oh man, it's so good.
That's another one I need to go back and rewatch is Nightbreed. Been forever since I've seen that.
I hadn't seen it. I literally watched it because I was told to watch it for the podcast, so it was good. No, Al, sorry to Robo Vampire. Did I say RoboCop? No, Robo Vampire. Funnily enough, I got a mail. I got something in the mail today with Robo in it. I got RoboDoc, the documentary about.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it came to my mum and dad's house. It was so long ago that I Kickstarter, put the money in the Kickstarter, that I didn't know where I was living at the time when we were moving the house. So it's well over a year ago. and then it just arrived at my mum's house today. I think it was yesterday. So I'm looking forward to watching that RoboDoc.
It's really good.
Is it
really good?
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I don't have the physical copy, but it premiered on Screenbox, and I have Screenbox, so I watched it on there.
Oh,
And
cool.
it made me like it was almost like I was sad when it was over because I was like, man, this is so good. It had like a lot of good stuff in it.
That's good. It's like those. My friend and I kickstarted the first one was In Search of Darkness and all those ones, and then the action hero ones and the other ones. They're great, but now there's so many of them and they're so long. Like it's hard to kind of. It's like anything else. I think it's a bit like I'm going to be unpopular here. I love like the first season of The Mandalorian, and then I think it should have just stopped. But then like you get more and more and more and more and more of these things, and it's a bit like that with these documentaries as well, where they're great and I like them, but they're like massive long TV shows.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I think Mandalorian should have ended season 2. I think that
Season
would have
2,
been
yeah. Actually, as I was saying that, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I was disagreeing with myself as I said it.
And then I with In Search of Darkness, I backed the first one, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then they said they're gonna do 2, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna back the second one, and I was like, cool, like, and the second one was good. The third one, I ended up backing it, but it wasn't. I don't know. I feel it was kind of a little bit of a letdown.
It's a lot. It's just a lot of an undertaking. Yeah, there's a bit of a back and forth going on between Alan and
Here we go.
Gareth now. So we're in the bath now. This is the big scene, really. And again, I think this is a little bit like other classic horror where bath related stuff, like in like Nancy and things like that, Freddy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Last Night. What's that one? What's that about, Guy? I've not heard of that. I have to check that one out. Gareth is effing his life. Having to watch the film later on. No, we've got to sell it. It is, yeah. Robo Vampire is like there's about 6 or 7 versions of it, I think. On and still going back and forth about Robo Vampire. Beach Babes from Beyond.
Dang.
Oof.
If you really think about it, this really because you mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street. This came out after I could see like that movie Teeth. Remember that
Teeth,
one?
yeah.
Teeth. Yeah, that sort of same shot in the poster and in the movie and stuff. So I don't know. It's just like it's interesting to see this movie, and then like you could see similarities in other films that came after.
Yeah.
The Fright Night one. I think that one's also on Scream Factory or Scream Box as well. I started watching it.
Is that available in the UK? Do you reckon, or is that like an American Scream Box?
I want to say, well, that's an interesting thing. I think it is available in the UK because here I can only see it on my phone.
Oh,
I can't
get
get
it. Like stream it to your telly.
I can get it on Xbox. I can't get it on Fire Stick. Like it's on Fire Stick, but it says it's not available.
Hey Todd, we're talking. Todd is such an incredibly astute film person. Like I just love reading the stuff that Todd posts. So interesting whenever he comments on anything that we're doing. I'm like, okay, I've learned something. Every day's a school day. Ooh, she stood on the glass.
Well, I feel like at this point she's like possessed, right, by that thing.
Oh yeah, of course. So she probably won't be feeling it.
I told you, man. This is like straight up. This is the prequel to Wrath of Khan with those slugs.
Yeah, Khan.
Waiting for Shatner to pop up and
the Shat. Well, he's Canadian. Another amazing Canadian.
Yeah. Or
so he was going on a Twitter rant yesterday, William Shatner.
Really?
Yeah, telling people to kind of just get over it and stop being such, namby-pambies and all that kind of stuff. And then I just stopped reading. I was like, oh, come on, William, go to bed. Go to bed.
He was talking about the Super Bowl or
no?
Oh, no. I'm kidding. But that's all I've been seeing all week is like
people crying about Taylor Swift or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they need to get over that because that's embarrassing. To care about that is embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, in my opinion, somebody who knows nothing about American football. But like, if a television camera is looking at someone in the crowd, and we're going to count how many seconds it's on them, I genuinely don't. It wouldn't bother me if it was a football match. Like today, Harry Styles was at the football, and they kept cutting to him. In fact, yesterday, the Fulham game, Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy from AEW were sat there with Tony Khan, and the camera was on them a couple of times. Well, you had to be a wrestling fan, I guess, to know who they were.
Well, I mean, I feel like just compared to, I mean, I would see the Harry Styles thing if he was if he was involved with one of the players, but I think that's the biggest.
Might be.
I think that's the biggest thing is the fact that she was involved with a high profile NFL player. I mean, because a Super Bowl, because they won the Super Bowl last year, and then they won the Super Bowl like 2 years ago prior to that.
Is he a good player? Is he like the best player? Is he like the, I don't know, Dan Marino or whatever?
No, I mean,
okay.
and it's like, well, see, in me,
William, is he William the Refrigerator Perry?
No, he's I don't know. I think he's this year especially, like that team was just like how they won this, how they got to the Super Bowl and how they won it. It's just, not to mention I'm a Niners fan, so I was really upset that they lost. But
okay. We
but
talked
at the
about
same,
this, yeah, I remember now.
But at the same time, I just feel like this year they were whining a lot this year about like play calling or like penalties and stuff like that. And even in the first quarter, I think that dude went up to his coach and like
screaming at him. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm just like,
which
dude,
is weird because I don't know. It must be big if I saw it and I wasn't actively seeking it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's tons
crazy.
of memes about it now and everything. It's like, what's going on here?
He's going crazy. This guy, he's doing a bit of fighting and scrapping, bit of scrapping.
She's like, "Can't we have dinner first?"
I know. I think she's got him under control. The thief. Oh, Thief! Yeah, that's one that's been on my list for ages because I believe it's very similar to Drive. Robert Podsky from Hill Street Blues. Willie Nelson is in it. I didn't realize that's one I want to see. Yeah, that's fine. No, I knew you were talking about Willie Nelson. Don't worry, Russell. Trust me, for somebody who works where I have to like spell everything right and do that, when I'm online, my spelling and grammar and punctuation just goes out of the window. I write stuff to you and especially you and Don in messages and to Al and people like that, and you must think I'm an absolute idiot because I miss words, I spell things wrong. Literally, my job is educating people, and like I'm probably my big thing is writing. But when I'm doing it in like a social situation, I just put zero. I just think and then write, and my brain can't always keep up.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is there's a lot of
my hands can't keep up with my brain.
There's a lot of autocorrect stuff that messes up my words too. Like there's a lot of the times that I put something in and like or I'm missing a word in between words, and I have to go back and like re-edit stuff, and I'm just like, all right, well, I think they I think they understand what I mean or whatever. Sometimes they don't, and then that's when I realize like, oh man,
if it's a video, then I do check. Like, but if it's like a message to a friend, I'm like, well, if they're a good enough friend, they won't judge me.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, even like, whenever I'm on chats, in the live streams and stuff like that, sometimes I'll and sometimes like you were saying, like sometimes I'll just be like, I want to respond right away, or like something is said and like I have something to say about it, but it's like I end up, my mind is going 100 miles a minute and my hands like I miss a word or something. So I mean, it's understandable. I mean, it's not the same as like actually talking and saying something.
No, that's it. And plus, I'm not very dexterous, so like, just making excuses for my own stupidity. But yeah, I'm not really. This is a very 70s floor. A lot of that kind of floor is like the sort of floors you'd see in school halls in like primary schools, like grade schools. Oh.
Dang.
Hey, Mayan's here. Queen Mayanne.
Hey, Queen Mayanne's here.
And
How's it going?
awesome. I was just saying about her, how nice she'd been to me about Marcy. Awesome. I feel like these two here they've been walking for the full film, like from one point to another, and it's just they're so slow that it's took them 49 minutes of the film to get where they're going.
I know, right? Now, what I don't understand is you see this thing like coming up she had enough time to throw her walker, right? With this thing on there?
Yeah, just get it off. You'd go crazy, even if you were like old and you'd stroke. Yeah. It looks like a kind of cross between like a big fat slug and a leech.
Mm-hmm. I just got another commercial.
Okay, cool. So time check, guys. We had on 50 minutes and 10 seconds. 50 minutes and 10 seconds. Being terrified is just the beginning. Oh, thank you, Mayanne. Yeah, dog update. Yeah, she's doing great. Yeah, she's literally sat at the side of me here grumbling, but yeah, she's 100% better than this time last week. It was really, really dire straits. But now she's a tough one. Yeah, she's doing incredible. So thank you for asking me. So Sean, cool. Cinephile Sanity? Yep.
Nice.
Live watch party, even going to be on the panel to give our insights about. Oh, that's cool, Russell. Russell, you'll have to come on here, man, and chat with us about some films at some point. That's cool. Yeah, it's just like there was something Russell was doing, Sean was doing, and I looked at it and I was like, oh man, it's 3 a.m. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to have to comment on it afterwards again. Sean's so meticulous in his research and the stuff that he puts into it. I really appreciate Sean. So that'll be really cool. But I'll watch you on that, Russell, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool, Russell. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Everyone's just so loving to me, and because she's just such a cool person. She's just so easy to like.
Mm-hmm.
It was like definitely one of the first people who was like made me feel like I wasn't just talking to myself on YouTube. So, which is fine. I do that all the time anyway, but just without YouTube.
Okay, it looks like the commercials are over.
Okay, so what are you on, my friend?
I'm at 50-10.
50-10, me too. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, play. Perfect. Oh, his stomach's going. This is we're getting the chest burster. The chest burster.
Chest buster.
Chest buster, yeah. Like the off-brand chest burster. Yeah. Oh man. I'd love to visit. I've never been to the USA, so I'd love to go to Canada as well. Canada's on my list. I'd like to go to Disneyland, but I feel like I'd have to have kids to go to Disneyland.
Dang. He's probably like, oh, you got bit by something? Just walk it off. It's good.
Yeah, just step over them. So it's so like everything's so like painted concrete and like just block colors. There's no shades of anything, it was just such an. It's like the time that style forgot, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, when I see a film like that with this kind of thing, it makes it stand out because it's so unique because it places it in the 70s so quickly.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, even with the building, the architecture, like that's what really stood out to me, the outside building and everything. I was like, wow, that's an interesting, like the pillars like that. And I mean, I don't know.
People try and like copy it in modern films now. There's that film where Jake Gyllenhaal plays 2 characters, and he's like one's ruining the other one's life. It's kind of like he's identical. He's just like his doppelganger. The beginning of that film is like this, where it's just all concrete buildings and bland beige suits and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, they're really trying to make this feel like a 70s, like a gritty 70s film. Not gritty. Gritty is not the right word. It's I want to say clinical, but it's not clinical either because you've got these pastel flowery stuff like that woman's wearing, and then wood paneling and big thick shag pile carpet, and then you've got concrete walls and like whitewashed beige colors.
See, what I don't understand is like, how is this? I'm still trying to see the sci-fi element of this because it's like horror sci-fi. That's how it's categorized.
Yeah, I've got body horror. I had it down as.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly like a
Well,
body
both, I
horror.
guess. Yeah.
But then again, a lot of Cronenberg stuff is considered or categorized as body horror.
True, and like the science side is maybe that sort of doctor operating at the beginning. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it was like, oh, science fiction, right?
Yeah, it was a doctor involved. Doctors have to study science.
Mhm.
They have to study biology.
No, like, oh, Beaker. Yes.
I thought when you said beaker, then I was like thinking meep meep.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. Another underrated Craven film.
Yeah. Everyone's so awkward in the way they touch each other in this film. I think maybe it's because they're squirming. It's just squirming. It's just like awkward squirming, like something's under your skin. The way everybody walks.
Or they got the shivers.
Oh, they've got the shivers. Yeah, that's the one. Enemy. That's the film I was thinking of. Thank you, Guy. Yeah, Enemy. I wasn't sure whether I liked that film, but I could see what they were trying to do. Brian Sung. Yeah.
Enemy. I know the name. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's a long while ago when I saw it.
So did that one come out? Did that one come out before Split?
Oh, yeah, it will have done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do
you know
McAvoy, and that was
yeah, he's great. And do you know what else he's great in? The Irvin Welsh film Filth. I thought he should have won the Oscar for that. That's a great book, and I'm not a massive fan of like Trainspotting or any of those things, but Filth, what a book and what a film! I thought he was robbed that year. He should have won the Oscar for that. Do you know what? When I listen to Patrick and I listen to like Have Cheetah Will View, the number of times I hear Patrick say, "Guy should have won the Oscar for that." And I always think, I always like 9 times out of 10, I agree with him, but now I'm doing it.
Ultimate Chucky figure, from the which one, man? The show or the one that I got? Because there's a couple, or there's several, I think. But I've only seen the series one, and then the one that I picked up.
Like you check out JT's. I know Mayanne did because she was there. I saw her when we were watching it. The interview JT did with Alex Vincent.
No, I didn't. I saw some of the shorts that he did for that, but I need to go back and watch it.
It's interesting. I think he handled him really well because I think he's known for being a bit of a prickly customer. So
really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So when I went on and I was like, whatever happens, I'm gonna like back JT up. That's why I was there. Because I'm not like a massive fan of it. But actually JT was really good with him, and the guy was like kind of warm to JT and was really good as well. So it was really interesting, really cool interview. I think JT said to me he was a really nice guy and had no issues with him. So I don't know whether it's just rumors or but yeah, no, Guy. Yeah, that's the one Enemy, the Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, the guy who directed that, I can't go out on my screen because I'm watching the film on it, but yeah, the guy who directed that was supposed to be a next big thing, who did Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like kind of like that, like I say, he was at Yorgos Lanthimos, that kind of vein. Yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it, Mayan? It was really cool.
Let's see.
Evil doppelgangers are always good. I like doppelgangers. Yeah, and get well soon, JT. I know you're not feeling so good, so yeah.
Well, no, I mean the director is Denis Villeneuve.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
So he did become something.
Oh, right. Sorry, you were being like, see, it went right over my head there, Guy. Sarcasm is lost on me. I'm not intelligent enough to get that. plus my my memory is shit. You know, when you're younger and you just rattle off names of directors and actors and films and dates and stuff. Now I'm like, oh my word, I know what I like, and that's about it. That's why I've started using Letterboxd, so I don't end up watching the same films 5 times and thinking it's the first time every time. Feels like the first time every time. JT made him get comfortable, and that's the love he got from the chat. Yeah, that's true. I feel like he warmed up. Maybe he's a bit defensive. Like a lot of, we were talking about child actors before, weren't we, Larry? And saying that like it's not easy, and a lot of them aren't with us anymore. So, yeah, for sure.
So seeing this part here, where he's just like I guess he's been spewing out all these like leeches or things or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean,
is he
essentially,
the host, like the patient zero?
yeah, because I mean, he just spit out another one. So I'm assuming it's just like Night of the Creeps might have taken from this, then, right?
Oh, do you know what? I when I was doing my reading, and it was a while ago, so I probably forgot most of it. There was a lot of like list of films that were influenced by this, and obviously by Cronenberg in general.
Oh,
I
yeah,
shouldn't be losing my memory at 25. You're right. You're totally right. You're totally right. In half of that sentence is correct. Man. The last part, sadly. Letterboxd is an app where you can do reviews and list things. I just use the diary part of it. If you go into my link tree on my page, there's a link to my Letterboxd account, and you can see what films I'm watching. If it's a bit all over the place at the moment in terms of what I'm watching, but yeah, it's like spelled letter and then I think BOXD. Or maybe even the E in Letterboxd isn't it? But it's taken off. It's doing quite well. I've always been an IMDb guy, but I've been IMDb for so long that my watch list has like about 20,000 films in it, and if I want to find something, it's really tricky.
See, now this little girl here reminds me of the little girl from Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah, it's the socks and.
Well, just the fact she's like eating in her hand. So like when you first see her, you know, when she's like after she has eaten her dad, essentially.
There's something really creepy about that. I guess it's the innocence, isn't it? And then like doing something horrendous. It is. It's just that the shaking is just subtle enough for it to kind of remind you that there's something inside them, which I think is. That's where the horror comes from. That something's inside them, but it's not like bursting out or going everywhere. It's like it's just shivering, it's just shaking, it's just working its way through you.
Yeah,
like a bad meal,
like bad
like food poisoning. Taco Bell. I've never had Taco Bell, but I've heard. I think I heard Professor Macabro say that. If you want to, if you want to kind of work things through your system, it's the best way.
I like how this
Why is
lady
it
was
popular though? If everybody just goes,
because it's cheap.
Ah, okay.
I mean, when it's, I know in my late 20s, and after a night of, the devil's booze or the devil's water, only thing that's open, or you don't have many options to get food. So.
Okay, I get it now. It's like the American version of like a kebab shop.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Although I'm sure kebabs are way better than Taco Bell.
Not like a massive kebab on a big, ever rotating metal spike, slicing it off. It's like there are flies stuck to it, and it's not so,
never mind.
So good. It's like something out of this film. I'm not a big fan of kebab stores, but I will go and get a pizza and chicken nuggets and stuff like that, or fish and chips or something after a night out. But I've got to say, all that stuff that I did, that was I used to make myself, when I was feeling sad, I'd eat stuff like that, and when I was feeling happy, I'd eat stuff like that as well. So like I have to be right in the middle to eat healthily. And now is the first time in my life, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, where I'm actually cooking, and the big thing for me is like seasoning stuff for myself and creating meals. I've been getting into it, but then I realized when we moved here, our village has a pizza shop, a fish and chip shop, and a Chinese takeaway. So like the temptation is still there.
I mean, every now and again, you can't go wrong with just a pizza.
No, I would eat pizza every meal. I never get bored of pizza. Who gets bored of pizza? That's insane. I don't even talking about it. That makes me angry. Somebody saying that
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you disparage the good name of pizza?
Well, I guess it all depends on where where you get the pizza from.
Well, that's when you go into like, is it like in Italy, or is it wood fired outdoors? Is it like Pizza Hut? Is it Domino's? Is it
Little Caesars? Do y'all have Little Caesars over there?
I don't think we have Little Caesars. We have the other one that have just started, the one that you guys don't like that much, but what's it called?
Because there's a lot of people that don't like Little Caesars here.
Ah, okay, right. That's a good point that Todd makes, by the way, about like basically Alien just speeds up the process, doesn't it? And it's still quite a long film, but I know what you mean. That particular, how that works. And we mentioned that earlier on, didn't we? How that's clearly where they've.
Well, seeing this, I mean, like
spark.
This one definitely the behavior and everything. It definitely reminds me of obviously they're getting a creature in them. So yeah, you can see where it might have gotten that Alien would have gotten that sort of or even other films too. Like I mentioned earlier, Night of the Creeps and stuff. But there's also like it's almost interesting these I guess people, once they're infected or whatever, they're also kind of like zombie like.
Yeah.
Like there's several scenes here that's reminding me of like Dawn of the Dead, where they're like banging on the doors and trying to get.
Yeah,
in.
me too. When you said Night of the Living Dead as well, I was thinking about that because obviously it's mainly in one location. Obviously, this is a bit bigger,
and clearly, I mean, there's a lot of like elements here that I'm like, wow, this is reminding me of a lot of other films.
It's quite a low budget, and therefore a lot of it is real places as well, which kind of makes it feel more uncomfortable. It's an interesting one though, isn't it? Because I wonder if we could make an argument that Cronenberg is the most influential on other horror filmmakers, or whether sci-fi horror or any kind of horror, whether he's the most influential, and is that because people more comfortable in Hollywood stealing from someone who is Canadian and doing his own thing somewhere else, and it's kind of like a bit like Elvis taking on rhythm and blues and going, I'm translating this to my audience, kind of thing.
You're gonna have to give me a second, man. Somebody, when I'm pointing, I don't know if you can tell the door.
Right. That's man.
You see that?
I can't. Hang on. My computer's so small. Oh, okay.
So somebody's calling. So 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. So, guys, if you are watching along, we are on 1 hour, 5 minutes, 44 seconds. We're in the car park, the parking lot. And I guess people are trying to make their escape, but it's one of those things where if it's inside you, you can't really escape, can you? We'll try and crash through the door. Let's see. There's something creepy about these underground parking things, though, isn't there? Because there's always the potential of something violent happening. If you think about Evil Dead Rise as well, that happens in a parking lot as well, doesn't it?
At the end.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert, I wasn't a big fan of that film.
No, I'll go one further, and it is not my favorite series of films. I can really appreciate the original. I've seen different ones. I really like the beginning and the end of that one. I thought the bit on the lake was really good up to the credits coming
really
up. And then the end with the blood and guts and everything was really well done. But everything in between, I was like finding it difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was super hyped for that one, and then when I saw it in the theater, I was just kind of like, eh. Yeah, the beginning was like, oh man, this is really good.
Yeah, I was like, let's go. Yeah, let's just go.
And then I do like the wraparound at the end, like how it reveals like that's how it goes to the lake or whatever. I mean, if they make another one, I I would watch a sequel, but I wouldn't want it. I would want it to be like not following the girl.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
want I want it to be a continuation of like the demons, you know, the deadites.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that
That
whole
was.
thing, like where does it go from there? Like
It's
I would like
definitely
to see that.
a different way of approaching the whole thing. Have you
Mhm.
ever? This is completely gone off track, but have you ever seen a film called Slaughter Day? It's set on Hawaii. It's made on VHS and edited from VHS tape to VHS tape by these two brothers in Hawaii. It's essentially two like proper Keanu Reeves kind of like whoa guys who make their own essentially their own version of Evil Dead, and it's so much fun. It's incredible what they did with such little such small resources. Yeah, sorry, May, and it does feel a bit like we're talking about anything but the film, but you know, we are. Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Flesh for Frankenstein. Yeah. Yeah, I think him being Canadian is something to do with it. Yeah, people seem really happy to steal from him. And yeah, he's on the fringes. Like in Canada, they're like giving him doctorates and stuff all the time, and like saying, you know, they look at him as almost like a doctor, like somebody to study, and he's so revered, and everything he makes wins these awards. But also, I think there's that French sensibility as well of like horror being art, whereas like I don't think that always translates to the UK and to America in the same way. Yeah, you remember that one, man. We're good. Okay, we're all right. We're good.
Got the seal of approval from Queen Man.
Yeah. So now this is because we are in 1975. This is the part of the film where two ladies start feeling each other up. Have we got a cat on screen? I can't. Do you know my eyesight is so terrible? I can see you, and I can see your background.
You see something like just black, like walking around.
Why? If I knew what I was doing, I'd full screen you. I know. What I'll do. No, that's not right. That's not worked. I've just got rid of you completely. Oh, no, and now I've put you into. Oh man. There we go.
Well, now she's gone away.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
she's
don't
like,
have patience for me.
no, she don't have patience for anybody.
And now you're on the left, and I'm on the right.
I'm on the left.
What a
bank,
world!
on the right bank.
The funny thing is, because of the Shivers part of this, the way they touch each other is so awkward. It's like quite comedic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
speaking.
I mean,
Of, sorry, go
this whole thing is just like it's one of those. I guess it's just like one of those films that's like. And I mentioned this with Black Christmas, how it just leaves you feeling like kind of icky. Like so far, this film is making me feel like real like.
It's the kids say, give you the ick.
Yeah, it's like I need to take a shower.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know. You know, but no, actually, more Black Christmas leaves me with that unnerving feeling.
Oh, this is voice.
Just that ending, the way it ends and everything, it's just like man,
that's a 10 out of 10 film for me. I saw somebody had done an action figure of Barb, and I don't know that it was like a mock-up one or a real one, but I was like, I need to get that. That'd be so cool. Yeah, this is one I've actually enjoyed. This I've liked this. I thought it was good. I like everything about it. Dead simple. I like simple. Like, and it's not simple because to make something. I'll clarify what I mean by simple. Like when a musician is so good that they can get everything that they're trying to get across in a couple of lyrics instead of loads of them, or a couple of notes instead of tons of them. This is what this film feels like for me. It's like so well put together. Like Night of the Living Dead's a perfect example of that. It's like there's no fat in that film. It's just perfect. Black Christmas is another one. There's no fat in that film. It's just perfect.
Yeah, it's just Yeah, like I said,
Powerful.
it's one of those movies that makes you think and makes you like, I don't know. Like I said, it gives me that like unnerving
Like,
feeling,
want to tear your skin off.
Mhm.
Want to go for a bath. Yeah.
I like how Schwimmer's
Yeah.
just like chilling through this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like now he's just like sleeping like nothing.
Oh, I see. It's the yeah. So what things is it? Is it when I'm talking super fast, or I'm saying very British things? It's like talking about crumpets and cups of tea and bowler hats and cricket.
Rubbish.
Yeah, the trash.
Oh man,
I'm trashed. Oh, I'm trash. Forky's my favorite character in Toy Story, I think, which is quite controversial.
Dang, got another one.
Same thing happens with Gareth. Gareth's more well-to-do than I. Yeah. I'm from the streets. I'm from the mean streets. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie's like, I mean, for this being my first watch, it's kind of like, I think it's leaving me more like I'm seeing more of the similarities and other stuff. So for me, it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess it's not a good thing that I'm seeing this before. Like I've seen all these other movies that I'm like, because I'm thinking about like, I brought up Night of the Living Dead, and I mean Night of the
Yeah.
Living Dead came out first, but I mean we talked about Alien. I mentioned Night of the Creeps. It's like all these movies that I love, and seeing this one, I'm just like, it's interesting.
Well, we're on 1 hour 14, 18 seconds, and this is where it's really going off now. It is going off big time.
This is a sci-fi part of it.
So, Guy, have you got a strong Bolton accent then? Because I know we talked a bit about being from around Bolton or spending time around Bolton. So Bolton accent's really interesting, Larry. So I'm from South Manchester. I'm from Stockport, and my accent is not like if I was from Manchester, my accent would be more like nasal, more like that. If I was from Bolton, my accent would be more like, instead of flower, I'd be like flower. It'd be like more of an sound in it, And then if I'm from further up and I'm in Wigan, it's like if I was to say Chinese, like a Chinese meal, I'd say Chinese, cha. So my accent is kind of quite like when I moved to Bolton to teach, the kids were like, "Why do you talk funny?" And they're in just a small part, and that's all in the northwest of England. It's crazy. I'm sure it's the same where you are. I suppose you can tell different parts of Texas. Texas is
Yeah.
fucking huge, though, isn't it? Texas is probably
Yeah.
bigger than the UK.
What's interesting about what's funny is like
sure.
when I went to LA and years ago, and I met some people from Boston, and then they were like, "Oh, where are you from? Because you have an accent." And to me, I don't see myself as having an accent. I've known people from my area that have accents and stuff, and then I told them Texas, and like, really, you don't seem like a Texan.
No.
And I'm like,
you don't sound like
because
Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Wayne, which are my reference points, or the Undertaker. The Undertaker's not really. I don't know if he's really from Texas, is he? Because like Death Valley, it sounds a bit.
No, yeah, I think he is from Texas. I'm not sure exactly where, but I don't know. I think it's either near. I want to say it's either near like, I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to claim like I know. Even though he's like my favorite wrestler, but
like I remember the Von Erichs, like Dallas Sportatorium. I really want to see that film about them because I've watched all the documentaries. Man, apparently the film, people are like it's really sad, but actually it leaves out a lot of the stuff that's the things that I've seen in the documentary. I cried at that documentary, man. It's so sad.
Yeah, just knowing the story of it, I haven't seen the film. I wanted to check it out.
The Iron Claw, isn't it? The Iron Claw.
Yeah, the Iron Claw. Yeah, it looked interesting, and knowing the little stuff that I did know of the Von Erichs and like their history. I mean, but I used to be a huge wrestling fan up until like I want to say mid 2000s, maybe less than that.
Now's a funny time. Now's a funny time with wrestling for sure. There's some good things. There's some bad things. There's some really bad things.
Born in Houston. There you go. Fifth Beatle.
Okay. So I'm going to go through everybody now and go through their backgrounds. So yeah, Bolton accent. Most people will ask me where I'm from. So that's interesting. Yeah, I think like Greater Manchester now is kind of melding into one. So that's maybe like the longer I stayed there, people didn't ask as much. So maybe you just kind of pick up. I missed out Mike. Hey Mike, great to see you. Great to see you. Daddy's on the mend, but yeah. Oh well, lots of love to you. And to your dad as well, man. Yeah, get well soon.
Oh well,
Mike's dad. It's really cool. And we'll do another film soon. We'll get you up here and we'll watch whatever you want to watch, my friend, because it's always good to have Mike and myself did Dead Man's Shoes a while back. That was a really good well, I wouldn't say a fun film because it's not a fun film. It's a tough film, but it was a really interesting conversation. So, yeah, Russell's got an interesting background, isn't he? I remember that. Played him on and took him off. British raised German, adopted parents from Manchester. Wow, what a combo! Yeah, I was born in Manchester. My dad's from all over the place. Sister and stepmom from New Zealand. Oh, now New Zealand accent I can do. So New Zealand and South African I can do. So like if you want to do South African, you just think of Lethal Weapon. You go diplomatic immunity. Right? I want diplomatic immunity, and then. If New Zealand is a bit more like present, it's like everything's even more clipped than a South African, or like South African's like blood diamond, like blood diamond, but like New Zealand's more like present. I'm here, present, like really clipped and really like Flight of the Conchords, a perfect example. Obviously, they're from New Zealand. So yeah, I love voices and accents and things on that. It's fascinating. The dog's bollocks. Where now you know that phrase, the dog's bollocks, Larry.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. If somebody says you're the dog's bollocks, yeah. The Undertaker's from Houston. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, this is getting interesting here. This
yeah, it's getting. That was super gory a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can tell Cronenberg didn't. He was going for that hard R with this one.
Yeah, he's waited until an hour, probably just over an hour in, and then gone balls to the wall.
Pretty much.
Oh, that guy's lost a lot of weight. Not since the beginning of the film, but it just seems like he's struggling. Little Mutt and Jeff, yeah, a bit of Cockney rhyming slang. I read a really good book about Cockney rhyming slang recently. It's fascinating. How it's impossible to know it all because, yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we all do that definitely. Oh wow! Oh, that's so cool, guy. Yeah, Dead Man's Shoes is a modern day classic. Sick. Yeah. Well, like Australia's like it's like oh no, isn't it? It's like oh no, like everything's like moving around the mouth a bit more. Australians, whereas New Zealanders just close their mouths a bit more. Yeah. Oh wow, that makes sense then. Moving around and yeah, cool. Yeah, who me? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day, maybe one day it would be nice. I want to know if something happens if I get to it. Like maybe like on Twitter when it's your birthday and you get
well, I mean you're like 919 man subs.
919 man. Probably by the end of this I'll be 918. So let's go. Oh, that's cool. Everyone's so nice on here.
I'm telling you, man, this is like this film is really taken an interesting turn.
A posh bird, Russell calling me a posh bird. Oh man, you gotta be careful going around calling people birds. They don't like it these days.
Yeah, these days.
Maybe in like Carry On films or Confessions films, which are amazing. You might be able to do that. Oh, we're in the swimming pool now. It's a bit of what's that film? Reese Witherspoon, Cruel Intentions.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in forever.
It's not a bad film, man. It's not bad at all. I watched that in cinema.
With
It's a strange one. It's a
Sarah
strange
Michelle
one.
Gellar and Ryan Phillippe, right? That's where they got
Yeah.
together, right?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe. My dog's going crazy for some reason. She knows the film's nearing the end.
No, right? Oh man, see, this kind of also reminds me of
Oh, here we go.
What is it called? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, in a way.
Yeah, definitely. There's a 70s version of that, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. With
Yeah.
Sutherland.
Yeah. Yes. The suit looks the same. Yeah, some Cockney accents are amazing. The worst Cockney accents probably like Don Cheadle in the Oceans films.
Oh, the Ocean films.
Oh, bloody hell. Or even though he is like from London, Vinnie Jones, like, bloody hell, I'm the bloody juggernaut, mate. Is like embarrassing. It's like people who change their accent when they don't need to confuses me. You can hear, yeah, Marcy's doing well now because you can hear her in the background, man. Last week she would not have been barking; she'd have been fast asleep, sleeping off all her meds on the buses. Yeah, there's some great. I'll have to show you some of the 70s and 80s British sort of segs comedies. Spell SEGGS.
Man,
Push him in the water. This is like Gremlins, man.
I know, right? Now they're all just like multiplying out of nowhere.
Yeah. Tell you what, these people, I feel like you got people who are needed a good meal inside of them because they're like all super skinny people in this film.
Yeah, I know.
I suppose it's more creepy when you can feel that the things are coming out of their bodies and you can see their ribs.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, if they're like really that scrawny and all that like lanky and sickly, I mean,
Yeah,
it makes
Oh, look
sense.
at this. The slow motion as well. You don't see that as much now, do you? It's such a
Mhm.
simple thing to do, but you just don't see it anymore. Look at that, she's going right in for the kill. Snogging him to death, as they would say.
Yeah, this
If this
one's
Oh,
interesting.
it's going crazy now. This feels like something like is it called Green Inferno or something? Where they're all the people, the hands and the blood and everything.
30 minutes, best.
Whew. That was wild.
Yeah, now it's like,
Morning time.
Mm-hmm. It's like off to go and infect some more people.
There's still quite a few other Cronenberg we've not covered. So much like Wings Week, where it never ends, maybe my Cronenberg season will never end either. And I'll get Mike on and talk about another Cronenberg film.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. This one's I mean, especially for my first time watching this, it's like it's
I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Especially like with all the, like I said, seeing this, and it's making me think of all these other films, and then now the way it's ending, it's leaving you with that unnerving, like the bad guys won.
Yeah, they're the best kind, really. If you're brave enough for that to have that in your film where it doesn't have a
love
happy
movies like
ending. Yeah. We're missing a musketeer. We're missing one of our free BB members. I know. Well, the thing is, though, as well, I was saying this. So I watched Don's really cool interview with Patrick. So I'm not saying telling any tales out of school or anything. But it was really interesting to kind of learn a little bit more about like Don's sleep patterns and history and stuff like that. So like, I love that guy. He's so funny, so knowledgeable, such a lovely human being. And like, it is so much fun when the three of us are chatting nonsense. And it was so funny last time when we watched Videodrome because he just fit perfectly into that red dress.
It suited him well.
It was so funny. It was honestly, I was nearly crying laughing at that. I had to put that in my trailer.
Yeah, Don is definitely one of those. Yeah, he's really cool. He's one of the people that yeah, when I started getting more, I guess, traction on YouTube, he reached out to me Instagram. And again, like he said, like we always talk about, it's like we don't know how it, you know, if we were on somebody's stream or if we were, you know, just like he found my channel and I, you know, found his channel. We just started like chatting from there. And then he was actually the one that when he messaged me on Instagram, he was like, "So do I just refer to you as Horror or Cat, or do you have a real name?" Or
Yeah, he's just such a funny guy. Like, it just saying to me, kept telling me that I was more handsome than him, and I was just like, "Man, you need to sort your eyes out, my friend." But yeah, that's he's just such a nice guy. But just quickly before, because I don't want to eat into Gareth and Al's stream. I want everybody to migrate over and watch Gareth and Al because they're doing Robo Vampire, which is really cool. But yeah, Love Thy Neighbor. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was like a kind of sitcom in the 70s, and yeah, well done. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. That's nice.
Oh, thanks,
we have a good mix. Yeah, that's really sweet. Yeah, I think Mike's spot on there. That although it's offensive because it's kind of like a racial thing, like black neighbors moving in next to white neighbors, like bigotry. It is the white neighbor who's shown up for his bigotry, and maybe the problem is that we wouldn't have that on now, is because we try and overcorrect and end up missing the point of why, or you know, it's perfect example for me is the new Exorcist film in terms of overcorrecting. It's like the moment they lost me is not that I don't agree with the fact that the patriarchy, you know, you need to have a think about that. And I'm not a particularly political person, but when she says that, that's the reason she's not in that exorcism in the first film is not because of the patriarchy. It's because she's not a priest, and priests do exorcisms.
Well,
like
plus it's dangerous to her.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And so to that line, you could just see a film being written by committee. They've added that line in because, oh, women will love this, or this is what sounds right. When actually, anybody with a brain in their head goes, "Well, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't." They're overcorrecting, and like it ends. It's like the teaming up of all the different religions as well, like the kind of super friends of all the religions to do this. It's like, well, we'll put all that in because then we'll get a really like we'll open it up to more people. But actually, then it makes less sense. It's a film about exorcisms, like, and Catholicism and the original, and you've spent millions and millions to get the rights to it, and then completely change it. It doesn't make any sense. There's some good bits, like I like the end but like when she comes in and she's like doesn't know that it's Linda Blair and all that, but they undersell so much of it. But anyway, rant over. But it doesn't offend me in a political sense because I just shrug my shoulders with a lot of political stuff. But
yeah,
it upsets me in the fact it's not a very good film because it's overcorrecting.
Well, I mean, I've said this many a times, and I mean, this might, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm not the biggest Exorcist fan. I appreciate it for what it did for, you know, horror, and I can see why people. I'd say this all the time. I can see why people think it's the scariest film ever made. I can appreciate that and I can respect that, but me watching that film, I saw it in high school, and like there's a lot of parts that made me laugh when I shouldn't have been laughing, obviously. But
yeah.
But no, like, and then going to this, and it's like when I heard about that, I mean, I had no interest in watching it, but then I started hearing like stuff about it and that whole patriarchy thing, and I was just like, I'm like, come on, man! Like, realistically, she wouldn't have been in there because, for one, she probably would have been scared to death.
Yeah.
And then two, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for her. I'm sure you could even argue and say like there could have been some deleted scene somewhere where they say like, well, no, you can't be in there because of XYZ.
Yeah, we want to protect you from. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at I mean,
if she could do it, why would she ask them to help?
Right, exactly. Or why did it take her that long? Because I mean, obviously they took her to go get her head examined, right?
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, it's possession, you know. But I mean, another one is like Pope's Exorcists. I mean, he explains in that. You haven't seen that one? Well, I'm not giving anything away, but I mean, in there he says it's like, well, it's very dangerous, and he's telling the mom like this could happen and all this could happen. Like you see that those parts. I mean, Pope's Exorcist isn't like it's not winning any awards, but it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. You know,
Yeah.
Also, Russell
yeah.
Crowe chews up the scene in every scene
That
that
sounds
he's in.
good. I'll have to check that one out because I'm a fan of quite a lot of Russell Crowe stuff. Certainly like LA Confidential. I think he's brilliant in that, and Romper Stomper and things like that. But yeah,
yeah, Romper Stomper's crazy.
Yeah, he was just full of. He's just so powerful. He was just so powerful in that period of time. The bit in LA Confidential where he holds onto the wooden thing and breaks it off and then goes in and beats up the suspect. Like that's him. That's the guy.
Yeah, he's very I mean, just even in some of his earliest roles like Virtuosity. You ever see that one?
No, I don't think so.
It's with Denzel.
Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be a good combination. Wow.
Yeah, so in that one, he's playing like a psychopath, where he's just like he's basically a AI computer generated, like made up of all these different serial killers and everything. It's all like he's a computer program for training for police, right? And then like he ends up becoming like materialized in like some sort of nanotechnology thing. So then Denzel Washington has to go after him and hunt him down. So it's a futuristic film, but he's absolutely nuts in that film. He's a madman, and he's just like he chews up every scene.
Yeah, he's just like I say, he's just got that potential for violence that's quite believable. And I think around sometime when he was an angry young man, I think he was like that anyway. So it's right in there, like kind of like a Richard Harris or a Marlon Brando or someone like that, where you think the potential to explode at any moment. But,
yeah, well, even Quick and the Dead,
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
He's very calm, but then like when stuff goes off, he's just very, the way they play his character up, like he's like an ultimate badass. Is that
you can't fake that? Yeah, you can't fake that. Yeah, movies.
I mean, heck, even Gladiator. When he's like when you see like the emotion that he gives off when like Phoenix is talking about his family and stuff, and you could tell he wants to like.
Yeah, that's a movie star right there. That's like that's a proper movie star. Yeah, I never thought we'd be talking about Russell Crowe. Maybe it's because we saw Russell on the screen as well. Is it surname Crowe? We were talking about height as well, but I know that Mayam mentioned about The Exorcist being one of her scary. For me, it's definitely a 10 on 10. Yes, the watch party thought that's a good place to leave it, Russell. Guys, thank you so much from Mike, Russell. Go back through the list of everybody who's come in, and it's so cool to have everybody here. Mayan, obviously. I'm sure Todd.
Guy.
Yeah. We both said that at the same time. Jinx.
Al Gareth.
Al Gareth. Have we missed anybody else?
You did say
I hate missing people. Jamie Hart's.
Jamie Hart.
Yeah. Captain Adam was with us.
Captain Adam, yep. The captain.
The captain, yeah. Captain, my captain. The Wild guys were here right at the beginning. JT was here, even though he's not feeling so good. So
Bud, also JT.
Yeah, Bud Files are always here. Russell, of course. So, guys, thank you so much. Go and check out Al and Gareth on either of their channels or both of their channels. And
drop a like in both.
Yeah, and tell them that me and Larry, we sent you. That's what Al always does. He goes, "Tell them the bat sent you." So tell them the cat and the pug sent you.
Or you might see us. Or you might see us in the chat too.
Yeah, you might see in the chat. I'll have to go and take the dog out, and then I'll be in there. But
one last thing, guys. One last thing before
go
we go. Tomorrow we're doing Night of the Living Dead 85. So make sure y'all tune in for that.
Yeah, live on screen. Hopefully we won't get shut down. I don't think we will. So yeah, that'd be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for joining me on the last minute as well, Larry. I appreciate that, and
Love to everybody, and you guys take care. Have a
problem,
great
bro.
night. Go and watch Robo Vampire. See you later. Bye.